Happy Friday, everyone, and welcome back to another Matchup Spotlight, where we take a look at one of our premier Week 9 matchups. This week, we're taking a look at the Sundance Kid versus the Smithereens. I know that everybody's been dying to see how this matchup is going to stack up, and so we're going to break down player by player and see who we think is going to come out on top. First off, we've got, let me just get this out of the way. It's Kevin going against Brennan. And just from the very beginning, just want to let you know that Brennan dyes his hair. And so I just feel like that probably disqualifies him from any fantasy value whatsoever. I don't see those two things going together well. That and Brennan is very attractive. I mean, he's just a pretty man. And so I don't know what he does with his skincare and all that. But again, I just feel like that probably disqualifies him from being really good at fantasy football. So advantage off the top before we even dive into the players. Advantage Smithereens there, okay? And just a warning, don't stare directly into Brennan's eyes, all right? A weird thing will start to happen, so avoid that at all costs. But as we kind of go through here, we've got Justin Herbert versus Geno Smith. And, Geno's a great story, what he's doing there in Seattle, so that's, rah-rah, but, yeah, they're going against the Cardinals. I don't see that faring well for him, and I just see that he's probably going to take a dive here the rest of the season. We got Justin Herbert coming off of a bye, playing the Atlanta Falcons, and so Justin's probably going to throw about 8 touchdowns, so advantage Smithereens. Up next, we've got the running back situation, and that never works out well for Kevin. But we've got James Conner potentially coming back. We'll see if he actually plays this week. If not, we'll throw in one of those Green Bay running backs and hope for the best. But we've got Leonard Fournette and Caleb Huntley on Brennan's side. And they both have just bad matchups. They're going against really good defenses, and I don't see them doing well. Where Kevin has Tyler Algier, we talked about it last week. That's probably the pickup of the season, and he's just going to ride him. And so, in the running back category, I think it's obvious that the advantage is Kevin. Look for probably 3 to 4 touchdowns out of Kevin's running backs, and probably negative yardage out of Brennan's, if I'm honest. So advantage Smithereens. Wide receivers, we've got Justin Jefferson going against Mike Evans. We've got a top 5 wide receiver going against quite arguably one of the worst offenses in football. So advantage Kevin. Tyreek Hill versus Garrett Wilson. The fact that I don't know who Garrett Wilson is cannot be good for Brennan, because I lead a fantasy football podcast. You'd think that I would have heard of this guy. So Tyreek Hill, everybody knows him. He's going to explode. He doesn't even have to score touchdowns in order to score 20 points a game, so that's how good he is. Advantage Smithereens. Juju Smith-Schuster back off of bye. Curtis Samuel, somebody playing wide receiver for the Washington Commanders. Do I even have to say it? Okay. Advantage Kevin. Look for Juju to have a huge game. Tight end. This is where it could get really interesting. We've got Zach Ertz on Brennan's side versus Tyler Higbee for Kevin's side. But look for the Rams to rebound. Look for Tyler to have a huge game. And Zach Ertz, really not the best Ertz. So I think that that's part of it. And also, he's playing for Junior's team. They've got Hopkins back. That's where all the passes are going to go. So I just don't see it working out well for Brennan. Defenses. The Vikings defense, man, they've been playing great. They are playing the Washington Redskins, so this is kind of lose-lose for Brennan. And then Brennan is rolling with the Bengals defense. I don't know if you've been watching lately, but my son Jack could pull up a squad of flag football players and they could go up against the Bengals defense and they would be open all day long. That's the secondary that the Bengals have going on right now. Anyone can score on them. So as much as I want to say hooday, bad day for the Bengals defense. Probably going to end up in the negative there. Still think they'll get the win because Joe Burrow's Joe Burrow, but bad day for Bengals D. Huge game for the Vikings. Advantage, Kevin. Kickers, Daniel Carlson versus Koo. And again, Atlanta's team's really bad. The Vikings had an off week last week. Daniel scored 0 points. And that's not going to happen again. He's a top-rated kicker. He averages more points than anybody else in the kicking game, so I look for that to rebound. So advantage, Kevin. If I had to take a guess right now, just looking at all the data, looking at everything that we've been talking about, I would say that the score is probably going to be around 146. Okay, 146 for the Smithereens, 27 for the Sundance Kid. That's just kind of where I see things fleshing out. So if you're looking to bet on this week's matchup, that's probably about where I would say we would land. Could be off by a few, but I don't think by many. So I hope that you've enjoyed this week's matchup spotlight as we do an in-depth analysis of these different breakdowns and look at who we think is going to come out on top. Hope that you're finding these interesting. Again, don't stare directly into Brennan's eyes. Brennan, if you want to, Rennie wants to know what your kind of face routine is and everything so that he can get on that train. But anyway, enjoy, guys, and we will see you back next week for another matchup spotlight.